Seriously, when is this game going to come out? It was announced a whole year ago, and we haven't got anything about its release date since. I've personally been painfully waiting for this game, not as a pro player or anything, not even as a particularly good player, I just like Pokemon. But seriously, a Pokemon game that is entirely focused on its competitive side can open up this way of playing to so many more people. It really is the accessibility, man. The one thing that stopped me, and likely a bunch of other people, from getting into competitive is the absolute grind it is just to make a team. First, you have to catch the Pokemon, which depending on their rarity could be harder than you think. Then there's the moves, the abilities, especially the hidden ones, and the items you have to count for. And don't even get me started on the EVs and IVs that most people wouldn't even know about when playing through a mainline game. It can be extremely annoying to gather the bottle caps and vitamins necessary for perfecting these stats. Of course, there have been many items and mechanics that have been added over the years to help with this problem. The bottle caps being a great example of this. But it's not like they've made it an enjoyable process, not at all. That's why I think Champions is going to be such an awesome turning point for the competitive scene, from what I believe it's fixed all these issues. First off, you can recruit Pokemon. Depending on which Pokemon are available to be recruited, this can massively help point new players in the right direction. Think about it, if all the recruitable Pokemon are good in the meta, newer players won't fall into the trap of using terrible ones. Not everyone watches the likes of Wolfie or Aaron Zhang, so I have no real knowledge of what mons are available. That's why I think recruitment is a pretty cool addition. Another fix that Champions has made is the rework of IVs and EVs, or should I say the complete removal of them. It seems like now you can change a stat with a simple click of a button. Seriously, what the hell? Why wasn't this a thing already? Was it really that hard? Well, the answer is a yes and a no. The physical effort of adding this feature into a mainline game wouldn't be hard for the developers. The issue is the lack of reason to even add it in the first place. Like I said before, most players wouldn't even know about EVs and IVs' existence, so the devs never really had reason to add a feature like this just for the tiny percentage of competitive players. Seriously, I think out of the 27 million copies sold of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, like 1% of those people actually gave competitive a thought. Hopefully the devs will continue to add quality of life changes like this and the recruitment in Champions, now that they actually have incentive to. Anyways, moving on, now it's time to yap about something else. What is the competitive scene actually going to look like? Of course, I'm not really the guy you should be watching this for, I'm no Wolf Glick, I just wonder, what's the meta going to be? There's obviously going to be many different Pokemon, but is every single one of them going to be legal? Will we have certain metagames that allow some but not others? There's no real way of knowing, I just hope my favourite mons will be usable. The generational gimmicks are also something to think about. Obviously, Mega Evolution is going to be the one people care about, but it's confirmed that there'll be multiple gimmicks in each battle. I have no bloody clue how that will work, but I'm thinking it's going to be fun at the very least. That is, unless we get Terra Electric, Air Balloon, Ninja. I don't even want to imagine it. Also, one last thing that I want from this game is the addition of metagames that change up how you play significantly. I'm thinking like the other metagames in Pokemon Showdown. A metagame like almost any ability or stat mons would be really cool, but it's highly unlikely to get something like that. I plan on making content on Champions when it comes out. Maybe some news, maybe just some simple gameplay, who knows. It's been a while since my last upload and my videos are honestly not that great, but I hope you stick around to see what I make in the future. Or don't. Honestly, do whatever.